Ever heard of the dish cheburek? Originating from the Crimean Tatar kitchen, this delicacy has found its place in the culinary hearts of many, including the Mariupol Greeks, where it's known as chir, and the North Caucasus peoples. There's a similar dish called kutab, but we're not delving into that today. No, today we're focusing on the hearty and greasy delight that is cheburek. Today, however, the spotlight is on cheburek. Ready to learn how to prepare it? First, we'll start with the dough. The foundation of a great cheburek lies in the dough, and that's where our culinary journey begins. Picture this, a mound of flour sitting in a bowl, waiting to be transformed. We pour a generous tablespoon of vegetable oil into the flour, creating a glossy sheen over the powdery landscape. Next, we add a pinch of salt to a cup of water, stirring until it dissolves into the liquid. This salted water is then gradually introduced to our flour and oil mixture, creating a symphony of ingredients. With a spoon we combine everything, watching as the dough starts to take form. But this is just the beginning. The real magic happens with our hands. We knead the dough for a good 7 to 10 minutes until it's firm yet slightly softer than dumpling dough. Once kneaded to perfection, we let the dough rest, granting it a well-deserved 30-minute break. While our dough is resting, let's prepare the filling. For the filling, we'll need minced meat, herbs, and spices. Let's start with the herbs. Grab a handful of your favorite fresh herbs. You can use parsley, dill, or cilantro, it's up to you. Give them a good wash, pat them dry, and then chop them up finely. The finer the better, as it allows the flavors to meld with the minced meat more effectively. Now let's move on to the minced meat. Take your favorite kind of meat, whether that's beef, lamb, or a mix of both. Add your chopped herbs to the meat, then let's spice things up a bit. Add a good pinch of ground coriander and black pepper. Don't forget to salt to taste. Finally, pour in some beef broth or warm water. This will keep the filling moist while cooking. Give everything a good mix until it's well combined. Now that our filling is ready, it's time to get back to our dough. Our dough should be ready by now. It's time to bring our cheburek to life. Start by forming the dough into a log shape. Then, using a sharp knife, divide it into 7 equal parts. Each of these will become a delicious, flaky pocket of cheburek. Take each portion in your hands and knead it for about 2 minutes. You're looking for a smooth, elastic texture. Once you've achieved this, let the dough rest for another 15 minutes. This allows the gluten to relax, making it easier to roll out. Now comes the fun part, rolling out the dough. Without adding any flour, roll each portion into a thin, flat circle. Imagine you're creating a canvas for your filling to sit on. Speaking of filling, it's time to add it. Scoop a generous amount onto 1/2 of each dough circle. Be careful not to overfill, or you might have a hard time sealing your cheburek. Once you've added the filling, fold the empty half of the dough over the filled half. Press the edges together firmly to ensure a tight seal, crimp the edges with a fork, and voila, you've assembled your cheburek. They're now ready to be cooked to golden perfection. But remember, the key to a great cheburek is patience. Don't rush the process, and you'll be rewarded with a delicious result. Now, our cheburek is assembled and ready to be cooked. Get your skillet heated up. It's cooking time. We're now moving on to the most exciting part of our cooking journey, frying the chebureks. So let's dive right in. First, ensure your pan is at a medium-high heat. It's crucial to get the temperature just right, not too hot that it burns your chebureks, and not too mild that they end up soggy. You're aiming for that perfect golden brown crust that's the signature of a well-made cheburek. Next, gently place your assembled chebureks onto the heated pan, taking care not to overcrowd them. You want each of them to have enough room to fry evenly. Now here's the tricky part. You need to let them fry undisturbed for a few minutes on each side. Resist the temptation to flip them too often. Patience is key here. Once one side has achieved that beautiful golden hue, it's time to flip them over and allow the other side to cook. Remember, we're not just aiming for a visually appealing cheburek, but one that's cooked all the way through. Finally, once your chebureks are beautifully golden on both sides, it's time to remove them from the pan. Have some paper towels ready to pat down your chebureks and absorb any excess oil. This is a crucial step to ensure your chebureks are not overly greasy. And there you have it, your cheburek is ready to be enjoyed. Trust me, the wait is worth it. The crispy exterior hiding a flavorful, juicy filling is a culinary experience not to be missed. Let's recap the cheburek making process. First, we started with the dough. combining flour with a tablespoon of vegetable oil. To that we added water mixed with a pinch of salt, stirring it all together before kneading it by hand for about 7 to 10 minutes. The dough was then left to rest for 30 minutes, becoming firm yet a little softer than dumpling dough. While the dough was resting, we prepared the filling. We coarsely chopped fresh herbs and mixed them with ground meat, adding in ground coriander, black pepper, salt, and beef broth or warm boiling water. Once the dough had rested, we divided it into 7 pieces. Each piece kneaded for 2 minutes before being left to rest for another 15. Without adding any extra flour, we then rolled out each piece into a thin sheet. The prepared filling was spread evenly over half of each sheet, then covered with the other half and the edges sealed with a fork. The chebureks were then fried in a hot pan for a couple of minutes on each side, the heat turned a bit higher than medium. After frying, they were transferred to a paper towel to absorb any excess grease. The final result is a cheburek that is crispy on the outside, with a juicy, flavorful filling on the inside. The blend of herbs and spices gives it a unique taste that's truly unforgettable. So that's how you make a delicious cheburek. Give it a try and enjoy the flavors of this traditional dish.